few years ago, we felt stuck. We were burnt out from our corporate jobs, but we didn't know how to leave them. We were also dreaming of travel, but we didn't know how to make that happen either. We really needed to figure things out.
Fortunately, we did figure it out. We came up with a plan that let us say goodbye to those jobs, and it allows us to travel the world full time. We can have all the bucket list experiences that we've ever wanted.
Of course, it wasn't a given that we would be able to live out our dreams. Back when we were working, it was actually really hard to envision a different kind of life. We had just spent so many years building our careers, and we expected to just keep plugging away at them for years and years to come.
And the more we advanced in our careers and the more money we made, the harder we thought we had to work. We felt like we had to give everything we had from Monday to Friday and then just keep giving it over the weekend.
But we still had our fantasies about travel. So every Sunday night, which was honestly my only little scrap of me time in the whole week, I would do a search of all the trips I wished I could go on. I would type my travel dreams into Google, world's best epic adventures, world's longest hikes. The common denominator for all of these ideas is that they just couldn't be done in 2-week vacation. We would need months, maybe even years.
But again, we felt stuck. We were running on that hamster wheel. We had our stressful careers that we couldn't walk away from because we needed to pay for our expensive apartment and our lifestyle. If only we could somehow run away from it all, we could finally have the life that we really wanted.
If you've been following us since the beginning, you'll already know how this story ends. But what you don't know is the journey that we took to get here. So today we're sharing lots more, including all of the crazy ideas that we came up with before finally landing on the one that worked.
And if you're new around here, a big hello from Toronto. I'm Gillian and this is Stephanie. If you're looking for more about traveling full-time, we've got a new video for you every Sunday.
Getting back to our story, I finally reached the breaking point with my burnout when I decided to take a weekend off. So it was Gillian's birthday and I just needed one day. I needed one day without emails or PowerPoint deck or to-do list. So I didn't answer any emails from my boss on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or into the evening. Finally, in the middle of our special birthday dinner on Saturday night, my boss started calling me just to make sure that everything was ready for a meeting on Monday. And that was really it for me. I knew I needed a new life.
So Stephanie had always been the more type A, career-driven one in our relationship. Although I had found a career that was meaningful to me, ultimately the corporate environment never really felt like a good fit. I felt trapped, spending my days in an office, answering emails. I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So hearing Stephanie say that she was ready to make a change was the moment that I'd been waiting for.
Great idea, Gillian. Let's give up those corporate careers and finally see the world. But how would we possibly make it happen? We still needed money to live on.
So we considered whether to take a sabbatical and go travel for a year. But as we thought more about it, that wasn't the change that we were looking for. We didn't want to take a break from our soul-crushing careers only to go right back to them 6 months or a year later. We wanted a complete lifestyle transformation.
Around this time, we finally picked up a book that we had heard about for years. It's a book that's really become the Bible for people who want to escape the 9-to-5 and design their own lifestyle. So let us know in the comments if you guessed this one correctly. It's A 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferris. So for those who haven't read it, it's really a staple in every digital nomad's library. What we took from the book was that earning an income didn't need to take up our whole life. It could be possible to run some kind of online business or consultancy from whatever exotic location we wanted to be in. So immediately the wheels were turning. In our minds, we were heading off to Thailand to be digital nomads. Gillian could open a dropship store. I could start a blog and become an affiliate marketer. We would be making tons of money right away and be living the life of our dreams. Of course, none of that happened. Some quick research told us that we were about a decade too late on that trend.
But we were excited by all the new ideas, and the next idea that we picked up came from the Nomad Capitalist. I don't know how many of you have come across this guy as you've looked into living and working internationally. He's quite a character, but he does have some interesting ideas about the benefits of being a global citizen and lowering your tax bill. So he specifically talks about earning money in one country, being a tax resident in another country, and maybe living somewhere else entirely. After reading his book, we started having a whole new set of ideas. He's really big on overseas property investments, and we got inspired. We had this great idea that we could create income streams by buying cheap properties in high potential markets like Montenegro. In fact, Stephanie spent many afternoons at work sending me property listings to the point where my boss finally had to call me out for being on my phone all the time. That was truly embarrassing.
We finally realized that it probably wasn't the best financial decision for us to buy property in a country we'd never even visited before.
That is for sure. Anyway, all these ideas, the drop shipping, overseas income properties, these might be good strategies for some people, but they weren't the right direction for us.
Not at all. At this stage of life, we weren't actually prepared to become online entrepreneurs or international property moguls. We both felt that we'd already had very fulfilling careers. Neither of us was looking to start a whole new business from scratch.
Fortunately, in all our research and dreaming, we found our way to a concept that could actually work for us: financial independence. In the most simple terms, this means that once you've saved and invested 25 times your annual expenses, it should be enough to live on for the rest of your life. And if you want to feel even more confident in your financial outlook, you can save up more, like 33 times your annual expenses.
We found this concept to be mind-blowing. Suddenly there was a whole new option open to us. We'd always done really well saving and investing ever since our very first jobs, but we thought that we were saving up for some far-off, distant retirement that would be decades away.
So now we saw that there was actually a formula that we could follow. Once we had saved and invested enough, that could be it. We could finally walk away from work, and not in decades, but much sooner.
There was only one catch to our plans. The formula is based on your annual expenses. We had no idea what we were spending each month, let alone each year, but we did know that it was a lot. So we were living as expats in Singapore at the time, which is one of the highest cost of living countries in the entire world. Our rent for a 2-bedroom apartment downtown was over $3,000 a month. We went to a boutique CrossFit gym that cost over $500 a month for both of us. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but I was likely spending over $200 every single month on beauty products and services. And our dining out was just so expensive, we couldn't bear to add it up. All of this gave us a very inflated view of how much we'd need to live on. Saving up 25 times our current annual expenses seemed like a crazy goal because our spending was just so out of control.
But we didn't give up. We did 2 important things to pursue our goal of financial independence. So first, we started to track our spending to get a handle on how much was going out the door every month. And we really tracked it all down to every last penny. So the next thing was we scrutinized every single budget line item and made deep cuts. These were some pretty big lifestyle changes. We downsized our apartment from a 2-bedroom down to a much cheaper studio. We stopped eating out. We switched to a low-cost gym. The list goes on. So after a couple years of deep cost cutting and investing every spare penny, we had done it. We'd saved enough that we were financially independent. We quit work, bought one-way tickets to Europe, and we've been traveling full-time ever since.
Of course, we could have chosen a different route to becoming travelers. We could have started an online business or maybe invested in property. The difference with our path is that we don't have to work for a living. We have all the freedom that we ever dreamed about during those very sad Sunday nights.
Now, we would never want to discourage anyone from pursuing an alternative path like becoming a digital nomad. Maybe it's something that we should have investigated about a decade sooner. But for us, taking control of our finances was really the key to taking control of our freedom.
Of course, getting to financial independence and retiring early is just the beginning of the journey. You'd think that life gets pretty easy once you quit work and you no longer have a boss that calls you on Saturday nights, but it turns out that a lot can go wrong during that first year of early retirement. So if you want to learn from everything that we did wrong, you can check out the next video right here.